So if you're on social media at all, you've probably heard the phrase frugal chic. What you may not know is I coined and trademarked it, and now it's been featured in publications like Vogue and Who What Wear. So what does it mean, how do you define it, and how do you become frugal chic? I would define it as living luxuriously while spending intentionally. It's about splurging on things that you value and cutting costs on the things that you don't. It's about balance, but also about building financial stability. While other people have connected it to Pinterest mood boards, and while it does have an aesthetic, I think that frugal chic can be applied to so many different incomes. If you have a more maximalist style, you can still be frugal chic. You don't have to be minimalist. Essentially, it's about mixing taste and style with financial discernment. Now, it doesn't mean deprivation. I think there's a bad rep when it comes to frugality. It's not just cold kitchens and penny pinching and saving 7 pence on your milk. It actually just means someone that's quite financially savvy. If you are frugal or financially savvy, it's probably because you have some long-term goals. Maybe you want to retire early, become a millionaire, have financial independence, or simply just have financial stability. Let's be honest, social media has normalized overconsumption. It is now so normal to be hopping on every single latest trend, every micro trend on TikTok. You don't need a Stanley cup. You don't need to drink ice matcha just because it's trendy. You don't need a whole Lululemon's Pilates outfit. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that any of these things are wrong inherently, and you actually may think that frugal chic is just another micro trend. But because my main content that I post online is about financial literacy, investing, saving your money, I would say that frugal chic goes deeper than that. It is not just diptyque candles and tortoiseshell sunglasses. It's about building a financial future that you're proud of. How do you actually become frugal chic? Well, here are 20 ways that you can embody this persona. Number 1 is keeping your nails natural. As women, we're almost conditioned to think that we have to have our nails done in order to look well kept. As long as our natural nails look manicured, well cleaned and everything, that is totally fine. We don't have to spend £60 every 2 weeks just to feel like we're engaging in self-care. I think self-care runs deeper than superficial things. It's about giving yourself space to relax, a space to learn and grow. These are all things that I associate with self-care. This is going to ruffle some feathers, so take this with a pinch of salt. I actually think that bare nails look more expensive and put together than gel nails that are grown out by 2 weeks. That's just my personal opinion, but I think that shorter nails, for a start, look classier. And when I have actually been around some more wealthy circles in my time, I'm not from a wealthy background myself, but I have observed, notice that they often don't actually have their nails done. There's a Substack called Trademarks. I'll leave on screen a picture here. Tara, the author, breaks down how she perceives shorter bare nails to be more fashion forward or more tasteful. There are different kinds of women that give off this vibe, like Jane Birkin. I personally see this in media as well. Like if you think about Carrie Bradshaw, she always had bare nails, or the Olsen twins, it's almost seen as quite fashionable. Number 2 is having your coffee at home. I'm not going to sit here and lie and say that I have this really fancy coffee machine at home. I actually don't. I just have instant coffee. I know, but I am not too fussy. I'm not really someone that notices a big difference. But I would say that from a lot of classy women that I've met, they often have an expensive coffee machine and they make their coffee at home. They might even bring a takeaway cup and bring their coffee out on a hot girl walk. But I think it's so chic to have your coffee at home. Not only is getting single-use cups quite bad for the environment, but also the prices in London especially have skyrocketed. Like a few years ago it'd be like £2.80. Now you're looking at like £4.50. £4.50 is insane. I'm not going to buy into the whole propaganda that you can save your way to being a millionaire. If you don't buy coffee every single day, that is not the thing that's going to make you rich. However, I do feel you buy a coffee every single day, maybe you're going to buy your lunch every single day, and then you might buy a sweet treat as well. And these habits kind of compound. And I mean, I still get a matcha, I still get a coffee now and then, but I just don't make it an every single day thing. I'm not here to judge. I just personally feel that very financially savvy people that I've observed, they don't get their coffee out every single day. They'll get one with a friend or to treat themselves, but it doesn't have to be an everyday thing. If you think about it, coffee shops didn't exist 30 years ago. That wasn't a mainstream thing. Therefore, they're not an essential. They're not a need for our survival. Number 3 is having hobbies outside of consumption. I think a big problem with society nowadays is that shopping is treated as entertainment. And while I do love experiences and I love fashion, I will not be treating it as my only interest, because that only leads to you wanting to consume more things. So engaging in other hobbies like reading. I love personally self-improvement or self-help books. I know that's a bit cringe, but I just really like them. Books about neuroscience or philosophy. The only way you're going to cultivate a habit or a curiosity for something is through reading and learning. I think that we've kind of lost that art of curiosity and learning about things. And this doesn't even have to be an expensive hobby. I know most books are £10, but you can get secondhand ones on eBay, or you can literally join a library and get one there. Bonus tip is if you turn this even form of consumption into something creative. So you read a lot of books and that inspires you to maybe write something. Perhaps you could write a book review, or you could write Substack articles, or get into the habit of writing daily. This has been the biggest change in terms of my mindset. Like, I feel like I've become so much smarter now that I've started writing, because it's all very well reading books, but you're not always containing all that information you learn. By writing, you are literally consolidating your learning, you're synthesizing your ideas. Plus, writing publicly forces you to use more skills like copywriting and learning how to write in a way that's persuasive and interesting. Number 4 is driving an old but reliable car. As I would say, driving an old banger. I personally don't drive because that saves me a ton of money, and I don't need to because I pay to live in quite central to London. If I did live in the outskirts or in a different country where it was, standard practice to drive, then I would make sure that I was driving an older secondhand car. And I know there's some argument about this, whether that's a good financial decision, because if it's in a bad state, then obviously it's going to cost you more. I don't mean just drive like something that's going to fall apart. I mean, just don't go and buy a brand new car and finance it. Financially savvy or frugal chic girlies know about depreciating assets. Like, number 5 is classic minimal jewelry. Now, I don't mean minimal in the sense of boring. I personally don't wear a lot of jewelry, so I guess I'm boring. A lot of people will think that more is more, so they would rather have a lot of costume jewelry because that looks cooler or adds like a different element to each outfit. And I get that, it's nice to accessorize, but I feel like when you have jewelry that you wear every single day, I think that's really cool. I think it almost becomes a part of you. I'm personally not wearing it right now, but I have this gold bracelet that I got from my graduation. It is a little bit more pricey, but that's because it's real gold, and I feel like it's actually better than buying something that's gold vermeil, which is just gold plated, which is going to tarnish over time. You could definitely invest in something that shows your personality, like with a charm or something. Number 6 is building your forever wardrobe. Now, I don't just mean a capsule wardrobe. I think that capsule wardrobes are kind of a lie. Like, even I would say that I'm a minimalist, but there's some pieces that I just don't really wear, but I'm not really going to get rid of because they serve a different purpose. Like, I don't think that anyone is only wearing a set amount of outfits in a season. Like, I think you chop and change. So I don't know whether I buy into capsule wardrobes as a concept. It's obviously just a buzzword. But when it comes to your forever wardrobe, I don't mean that you just have a set of clothing that you just never deviate from. I simply mean that you have certain pieces that you'll probably have for decades. For me, this is like my Burberry trench coat, my Barber jacket, my Prada handbag, my penny loafers. These are all things that actually look quite mature on me because, I could wear these at 20, but I could wear them at 80. They don't really have an age. I know that timeless fashion is a bit of a lie as well, because obviously jean shapes have changed, like there's different trends, but I think there's some things that you could argue are timeless. A straight cut pair of jeans, I think just having those pieces in your wardrobe that are going to be like an heirloom, like my Prada bag, I'm going to give that to my daughter if I have one. And like, these don't even have to be boring, like timeless pieces. It could be something really special, like a really cool vintage designer piece, cool statement piece that you got off Vestiaire Collective, for example. Number 7 is caring for your clothes instead of getting new ones. So I really love loafers and traditional shoes because you can go to the cobblers and get them resold. I recently got a pair of jeans taken up. I recently had some jeans that I didn't like because they were ripped, so I just cut them into shorts. You don't always have to think, okay, that's straight to the charity shop or straight on Vinted. Like, you can't sew, or you're not that great at DIY, there will be some way that you could tweak it, or you could dye it. For example, dye something black if you don't find you're wearing it, if it's really colourful. I think taking care of the things that you do have instead of shopping around for the perfect thing. Similarly, keeping yourself very polished. Like, I have this handheld steamer from Philips. I hate ironing, so I'll always use this steamer instead. It's just portable, works really well, and I think when your clothes are steamed, they just look so much more smart and put together. Number 8 is cooking meals at home instead of getting a takeaway or eating out. Now, I eat out, don't get me wrong, I love to go out with friends, family, but getting a takeaway, for example, just because you can't be bothered to cook is just silly, because number one, they always come cold. You're kind of missing out on the nice experience of cooking. It can be enjoyable. You have to find recipes that you want to make or things that are easy, and just really taking your time with it, treating it like a hobby or interest, and really learning about what works, what doesn't, and like romanticizing that experience. Wearing like your cashmere jumper with your jeans, like with a glass of white wine, I think that's so incredibly chic. I just love that idea of romanticizing the everyday, like having maybe a candlelit dinner that you have at home. Number 9, the frugal chic girly always looks for something secondhand instead of just immediately going to buy it new. My favorite place to shop is Vinted. I get like 90% of my clothes on there. The only con is that you can't return stuff, so I always just check in store to see what fits me, and then I'll just get it on Vinted. Like for example, my Burberry trench, I got that on Depop, and I just think you save so much money. Like if I thought, oh, I have to get it new from Burberry, like that would have cost me $1,000, but instead I got it for like 180, I think. So the difference in price is just insane, especially for vintage pieces. Number 10 is like everyday luxuries that kind of last. So my example is silk pillowcases. I mean, to be absolutely honest, I did not buy these. I got them as a Christmas present, but these are a great one to invest in yourself or ask for them as a present, because if you think about it, they're a one-time purchase. They're silk, they make you feel luxurious, they help with your skin, and more luxurious than a face mask, which could cost £15 sometimes. I've seen some one-use face masks for that much, and it's just like, okay, yeah, you can't really compare the price because obviously silk pillowcases are much more expensive, but that is like a skincare investment or like a beauty investment that is going to last you years as opposed to like a one single use. Number 11 is drinking tap water and bringing your own reusable water bottle. I know this is controversial because loads of people don't drink tap water, and I just like don't really care. I don't think about it that much. I know that in the UK we have clean water. I think it's different if you're in Europe or somewhere else, but I personally feel like I don't get why people are like that. I know some people that refuse to drink tap water, but then they'll hit a vape, you know? That just makes no sense to me. I really love stainless steel water bottles. I think these are very frugal chic, like unbranded, very cool girl. But if you wanted a cuter option, I like the Chili's ones. I have a pink Chili's bottle. So another thing that the Frugal Chic does is she tailors her media consumption. She unfollows like influencers that just push products, and instead she loves to listen to podcasts, long form YouTube videos, Substack articles, TED Talks. These are all things that she would rather engage in as opposed to just consumerism. She still loves to buy things, but it's just not her only hobby. So borrowing books from the library is free and it's an experience too. Number 13 is having a signature scent. My favorite one is Diptyque Eau de Scents. It gets so many compliments on this. Someone literally said the other day, like, what is that? And I said to her, like, yeah, I tried so many. I tried Glossier You. I tried loads of those scents that are meant to be like your skin but better. But this one I found is the most, there's something about it that's very addictive. You don't need a whole perfume tray of various different perfumes. And I will tell you, as someone that has now become an influencer, I get some free PR sometimes, and I'm not going to say no, of course. But when I try this stuff, it makes me realize how little I actually need it. Obviously, I will still try it to just give feedback on the product and stuff. But genuinely, you don't need 10 perfumes. You need one nice one that really works with you. Number 14 is hot girl walks over Uber. Now, I'm sure not many of us just use Uber for the sake of it. Like, we're not all rich. I've known friends or people that will just get an Uber because they can't be bothered, and it's like a half an hour bus ride. I think the most chic thing is like going on a hot girl walk, and actually the effect that walking has on our brain is so interesting. I saw this graph recently that shows like, it's like a heat map of your brain before walking and after walking, and it shows why our best thoughts and ideas happen when we're on a walk. Not only are you putting your brain on autopilot so that you can think about other things, it's just so healthy for your body and your mind. Number 15 is keeping your hair natural or not over dyed. I know this one is controversial again because different hair types might have to spend more to adhere to certain beauty standards. Don't get me wrong, I fully acknowledge that. I am more speaking about the people that go on full on blonde. I understand the urge to be blonde, but also it's so expensive. I've heard people spend £200 per session, or sometimes £800 in a year. That is so much. And obviously if that's the one thing that you really love to keep up with your appearance, that's really important to you. I know some people where they get a balayage once a year and that's really important to them. You do you. I'm not here to bash anyone, but I see so many people that when you see their natural hair, you actually think that they look better. I think that we need to be embracing our natural features more. Whenever I see people that have naturally curly hair, but they've always straightened it, I always think that they look better with curly hair. Maybe that's just me, but maybe they feel pressure to have straight hair, but I don't know. I think we should just be embracing our natural hair more often. Instead of buying processed snacks, I don't really buy snacks. I always just have set meals. But instead of buying these snacks, having fruit instead. Not only is this so much healthier, fruit is very chic. Just having a little apple in your bag, that to me is very chic. It's I'm prioritizing my health, but I'm also trying to be a cool girl, Pinterest girly. A really cute way to incorporate this into the everyday, but romanticizing it, is to have a fruit bowl. Get a really nice fruit bowl to have on your countertop so that you're more encouraged to eat that fruit. Number 17 has to be my favorite rule or tip, is to invest consistently. I feel the center of the Frugal Chic philosophy is not just soy candles. It's also investing in your future, because why are you saving money? There has to be a purpose behind it. Otherwise it's just saving for the sake of saving. Personally, I'm saving because I want to reach early retirement. And that doesn't mean that I don't want to work. It just means that I want to choose when I retire. I want to choose when I have financial freedom. I don't want it to be dictated to me by society that I have to retire by a certain age. I want to basically buy my own freedom, and I'm doing that by aggressively investing in the stock market. Now, obviously, when I talk about investing, I have to be very careful. There's a lot of regulations. Investing is risky and you should do your own research, but I have a free investing mini course linked in my Stan.store. I'd really recommend you check it out. Number 18, being a chronic outfit repeater, having a uniform. If you think about all the successful people throughout history, like Steve Jobs, okay, yeah, I don't want to dress like Steve Jobs, but you get the idea. Black turtleneck, jeans, New Balances, instantly recognizable as a brand. I think Princess Diana, she popularized that athleisure trend before all the Pinterest girlies hopped on it. Before social media was a thing, she was the forerunner for that quiet luxury outfit. So all of these celebrities or people, successful people throughout history, they've always had a signature thing about them. Think the Olsen twins, or even people that I like Zoe Kravitz, they have a signature style. Don't be afraid to rewear your outfits. No one in real life, maybe influencers or maybe party people, no one actually buys a new outfit every time they do everything. Rewear your outfits, and by doing that, you actually see more of your personal style, because personal style to me is about repetition. It's about who you truly are, and you can only do that by showing up consistently. Number 19, having a really simple beauty regimen. So keeping skincare painfully simple. You just have a simple cleanser that just has the basics in it. No perfume, no fancy ingredients. Moisturizer, you keep it very basic. But you might have some serums, because if you think about it, face wash is just getting washed off your face. Don't invest in that. But serums are something that stay on your face, so it's better to invest in things where you know they actually work with good active ingredients. Personally, save on the face wash and save on the makeup. I'd rather buy drugstore, but with a serum or something, I would be happy to splurge on a retinol. But I just keep all of my makeup in one pouch. I think you don't need a whole tray. That is something that only influencers have, and I feel that trend is kind of dying down. I think we're seeing more people waking up to the fact that you don't need a million products. You don't need to go and buy the latest viral face wash. You can use the one you have. That £24 is better spent elsewhere. Okay, number 20 is my favorite because it doesn't cost any money. It's just having good posture and having a good way that you carry yourself. Now, this is not something that you're going to be able to do overnight, but personally my posture isn't great, but when I do improve my posture, I feel so much more confident. Okay, so those are some ways to be frugally chic. If you want to check out more of my content, you can head to frugalchic.co.uk to sign up to my exclusive newsletter. It's not just savings tips or like, where to get the best perfume. It's like kind of going deeper into different things like my content strategies, side hustles, like all of the topics I talk about on social media. I'm sure you'll find it very useful. Enjoy this video, give it a like, and definitely subscribe so you don't miss out on further content from me. And thank you guys so much for 10k subscribers. I really appreciate the support on here. As you know, growing my short form platforms for a year now, and I branched out into YouTube, and I can't think of the most supportive community on here. I'm really, really happy that you guys like my content. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.